What do you want?
I want to talk to you, Becky.
I told you I didn't want to see you anymore.
Come on, babe, you didn't mean that. We're in love.
I gotta go. My parents are expecting me for dinner.
I'll come with you.
No. How many times do we have to go through this, Lefty? And things just didn't work out between us. And now it's over. I thought you understood.
Yeah, I understand. You think you're better than me. You always did.
That's not true. I just don't love you. Why can't you accept that and leave me alone?
Not until I'm ready.
Don't you ever come here again! If you do, I'm gonna call the police!
Becky, come back. I'm sorry.
A toast to our wonderful daughter, who's not only had her first novel, Fast Track, published to great critical acclaim.
Thank you.
But has sold said novel as a 5-hour miniseries. Hear, hear.
Television. Oh, well.
Whoever said there's no business like show business wasn't kidding. You're going to learn that, sweetheart.
I already know, Dad. I've had to listen to your war stories about how the studios abused us writers all my life.
Most of which he made up, Becky.
I know that too, Mom.
All right, all right. Enough about my trials and tribulations.
I'd like to make a toast to my mom for giving me life, courage, and the strength to survive any situation. And to my dad for his support, belief, and inspiration. I love you both very much.
Well, I always seem to be the one to call it an evening, but I really am rather tired.
I'll get your chair.
You gonna ask Dad to tuck you in tonight?
Oh, those days are over, my sweet. And even when we were married, I always preferred sleeping alone.
You liar.
What about you, honey? You're not still seeing that guitarist, are you?
No, Mom. I told you I broke up with him.
Oh.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. You deserve better.
You've said that about every guy I've ever dated.
And all of us know I'm never wrong.
Oh, yes, Gus, and that's certainly true.
Need some help?
Immaculata will take care of me. Now, call me soon, both of you. Good night.
Good night, Peach. Want to walk your old man to his car?
Only if you'll do the same for me.
Right about this breakup?
Fine, Dad. It took me a while, but I found out I really didn't love him after all.
Well, I'm proud of you, Becky. You turned into a wonderful woman and a terrific writer.
It was easy. I'm my father's daughter, after all.
Ah, thank you. Drive carefully, huh?
I will.
Good night, darling.
Good night, Dad.
Mr. Augustus Bailey?
Yes?
Detective Jackson, LAPD. I'd like to talk to you, sir.
problem?
I'm sorry to have disturbed you, sir, but I'm afraid I have some bad news. You have a daughter, Rebecca Lee Bailey, living at 235 West Hayden Avenue in West Los Angeles?
Yes. Dear God, she hasn't been in a car crash, has she?
No, sir. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but your daughter's dead. It appears she was murdered.
That can't be. I was with her 2 hours ago. Has to be a mistake.
A neighbor reported hearing screams coming from inside your daughter's apartment. Our officers investigated and found the body.
Not Becky. Oh, please. Not Becky.
I need you to make an identification, Mr. Bailey.
Yes. But I hope to God you're wrong. You have to be wrong.
We have a suspect in custody, sir.
Who?
Francis Flint, also known as Lefty.
I don't believe you.
The police took me to see her.
How did it happen?
They're not sure.
How did she die, Gus?
She was murdered. Strangled. By Lefty Flint.
Oh, God. Dear God. Not my child. Not my baby. What did we do, Gus? What do we do now?
We make sure Flint goes away. For the rest of his damned life.
A formal arrest has been made in connection with last night's brutal slaying of Becky Bailey, successful novelist and daughter of writer Augustus Bailey and his ex-wife socialite Peach Prindiville Bailey. Francis Lefty Flint has been charged with murder in the first degree. Flint, entertainer at a Malibu restaurant and estranged boyfriend of the victim, has admitted to committing the violent crime, and his trial is expected to begin shortly. Until tomorrow, this is Bernard Slatkin for Focus on special assignment.
Honey, we gotta go. The van to the airport's waiting.
I'm sorry, I was watching something on TV.
Ruby, are you all right? You look like you've just seen a ghost.
I have.
The night Peach gave birth to Becky, I remember thinking for the first time about my own mortality. Suddenly, my life became more precious because of that beautiful child. I had to live long enough to ensure her happiness. I wanted to catch her when she tried to take her first steps. I wanted to teach her how to ride a bike, dribble a basketball. I wanted to introduce her to the power of words and watch her discover the magic of love. I wanted to walk her down the aisle into a loving marriage. And I wanted to hold her first child and feel renewed. Most of all, protect Becky from any kind of harm. Goodbye, my darling daughter.
Peach, I'm so sorry. Gus.
Thanks for coming, Teri.
She's the daughter I never had. When Becky was 7, 8 years old, you brought her to the set of Memphis Belle. Do you remember that? She told me that I should read her father's lines exactly as they were written. And if I did, she promised me that she would someday write a movie for me. You know, because of that promise, I never changed a word you wrote.
Winding up what has been a lengthy and heated trial, Francis Lefty Flint, admitted killer of Becky Bailey, has just arrived at the Santa Monica courthouse. Flint's attorney has announced that his client will take the stand today and testify on his own behalf. And now I see Becky's parents have arrived. Peach Prindiville Bailey, herself the victim of a cruel fate, paralyzed after being thrown from a horse 5 years ago, and Augustus Bailey, the noted Hollywood screenwriter and journalist.
Becky told me that her parents didn't approve of me. So I thought I'd make it easier on her, and I told her that maybe it would be better if we didn't see one another for a while.
Are you saying that you're the one who ended this relationship?
Yes, sir. Not because I didn't love Becky. I did. Because I knew it would be better for her with me out of her life.
And why were you at Becky Bailey's apartment that night?
Becky called me. She said she missed me, that she wanted to see me, and that she didn't care what her parents thought anymore.
So you went to Becky's apartment at her request?
Yes, sir. And when I arrived, she asked me to spend the night. But I told her I didn't think it would be right. Without her parents' blessing, it would make the love we felt for each other dirty, unholy. So I started to leave. And Becky got hysterical. She started screaming, saying that if I left, she'd do something crazy, maybe even kill herself. I tried to calm her down, but she just kept hitting me, you know, just over and over again. I just wanted her to stop. I loved Becky. I never meant to hurt her.
But you did hurt Becky Bailey, Mr. Flint. You silenced her screams forever, and you used your hands as your weapon.
It is the judgment of this court that the defendant, Francis Flint, having been found guilty of the crime of manslaughter by the jury of this court for the city of Santa Monica, California, be imprisoned for a period of 3 years. However, it is also the court's judgment that since the defendant has no previous convictions, he be allowed a parole hearing after serving 1 1/2 years of his sentence. The defendant will herewith be remanded into the custody
Mr. Flint, Mr. Flint, is there anything you'd like to say to Becky's parents, Mr. Flint?
I just hope they can forgive me. God has.
You'll burn in hell!
Something else I can do for you, Mr. Renthal?
Yes. You can sit down and talk to me. I can't ever seem to fall asleep on these damn red-eye flights.
Well, maybe for just a minute. I thought people like you never flew commercial, Mr. Renthal, private jets and all.
It's Elias, and you shouldn't believe everything you read in the newspapers. I'm just an average guy from Chicago who's made a little money.
Oh, I guess that's why you're on the cover of Wall Street magazine this week.
Where are you from?
Someplace I just fly over now.
Married?
Never.
I used to be. My ex-wife said she didn't want to stay with a guy who had no class. Why, hell, you could buy that. You got enough money, you can buy anything you want.
Yeah. You could even erase the past. Become somebody important, you know, admired. Forget all the bad things that ever happened to you.
It does happen.
Not to people like me.
I can make it happen for you.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Elias, Mr. Renthal, but he's got to get back to work. I'll see you later.
Hi.
Hi.
My plane leaves in a couple of hours. Just came over to say goodbye.
You sure you want to move to New York? I remember a time when you couldn't wait to get to Hollywood.
Well, it's not popular to write movies about people anymore. Only a lot of chases, special effects. And I have to make a living.
What are you going to do in New York?
I have a few appointments with a couple of magazines. Besides, there's no reason to hang around here any longer. I'm proud of you. The way you've gotten through all this.
I'm proud of you, too. You're Mr. Plain.
Yeah. It's not over yet, Becky. promise you, it's not over. Good evening, Charlie.
Good evening, Mr. Bailey.
Oh, what I simply cannot stand is to be bored. And there's never anything boring with the doers of the world.
That's just what I was going to say.
Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Aren't you glad you're away from California? Such a synchronous theme at dinner. The movies, oh, the people are so superficial and such frauds.
Well, we couldn't accuse anyone who comes to your parties of being like that, could we, Maisie?
Well, my parties aren't about people, gosh. My parties are about conversation. After coming here for a year, you should understand that. Oh, excuse me, I see Senator Marks.
Hello, Gus.
Hello, Justine. You look beautiful. How's Lil?
Oh, well, mother's mother, always the same. Tell me, Gus, do you know that man over there talking to Violet Bastido?
Well, that's Bernie Slatkin, anchorman for Focus.
Oh, that's where I've seen him. Do you know him?
We met.
You're sitting under the Renoir next to Senator Marks. Essie, I'm sitting you next to Mrs. Renthal.
Mrs. Renthal, the wife of the Hamburger King who's in all the newspapers? How dare you waste me next to her?
Oh, Essie, try to be nice. This is the Renthals' first New York party, and I want them to feel at home.
I'm sure they will, as long as they keep buying your paintings.
Oh, now, Izzy, you know perfectly well that Maisie Verdurin has a genius for seating. She absolutely agonizes over her plasmon. Besides which, had you bothered to read my column yesterday morning, you would know that Elias Renthal is the man to watch. He made all those millions in the past 8 years. From hamburger franchises to company takeovers, dear.
So say the only respectable way to make money is to inherit it. And you can put that in your column, sweetie.
We're all wrong for this crowd, Elias.
Don't kid yourself, baby. Once these people get to know us...
They'll ask us to leave.
I've just about given you two up.
I'm sorry we're so late. I don't think you've met my wife, Ruby.
Oh, I'm so pleased to meet you.
Well, thank you for inviting us. Oh, is that the painting you wanted me to see, Elias?
Yes, Monet's Water Lily.
Well, that is the color pink I like.
Maisie, I think you got yourself a sale. Go ahead, baby. Take a closer look.
I want you to see the picture, but the waiters are just about to serve.
You got the right idea, Maisie, honey. Never do business on an empty stomach, huh?
Elias, I have you sitting next to me, and you are sitting with Etty Fenwick, who is the best friend of all the ladies in New York.
Great.
It's been a long time, Mr. Bailey. Bernie Slatkin.
Gus, I always wanted to thank you the way you handled your news coverage about my daughter. You're the only reporter who didn't exploit our loss.
I just tried to put myself in your shoes. That made it hard to be objective.
Well, we appreciated your sensitivity.
Gus, be a dear, give me some advice. I've decided to take up reading as a hobby. Could you recommend something with short chapters about rich people?
What about Trollope?
Excuse me?
I think he means the author, Anthony Trollope.
Can I take him home? Or will he keep me up all night?
I hate to read in bed.
So do I. Just look at that Renthal woman. She absolutely won't do. Dressed like she's going to the opening of the opera in Istanbul. Ezzy must be having a field day.
Where did you get that dress?
Chicago.
I thought so. Why on earth did you ever leave?
Well, Elias's business is here now.
Your husband's not quite as imposing as I thought he'd be, Mrs. Renthal.
Oh, my husband can be very imposing when he opens his wallet, Mr. Fenwick.
Good night, Barry.
Yeah. Good night, Gus.
Mr. Bailey,
My friends call me Gus.
my name's Ruby Nolte Renthal. I wanted to talk to you privately for a moment.
What about?
I just wanted to tell you how sorry I am about what happened to your daughter.
Thank you.
I wish I could have done something for her.
Well, you sound like you knew Becky.
No, I didn't. You don't always have to know a person to feel sorry.
No, thanks. That's all right. I'll find it. Thanks.
Maybe you and I could have lunch together sometime and just talk.
I'd like that.
So would I, very much.
What the hell's going on in here?
Just getting my coat, Elias.
Maisie wants us to look at that picture again. Up close.
Elias, this is Augustus Bailey. He wrote that article you liked so much on Lawrence Van Degen in the Knickerbocker.
Pleased to meet you.
Same. And nice meeting you, Mrs. Renthal.
My friends call me Ruby.
Guy's old enough to be your father.
You're old enough to be my father.
What the hell is this? We go to our first New York party, and I find you in the bedroom with
The coats. Calm down. Mr. Bailey writes about rich people.
Like us?
Us. I love that word.
Well, we made it through the first party without anyone asking us to leave.
Oh, we haven't made it to the door yet. Will we ever fit in with this crowd, Elias?
No problem. We're important people now, a team. And don't you ever forget that.
I love you, Elias.
Same here. Now, let's go look at that $6 million Monette and make sure it's the right color pink.
I shouldn't allow this.
You give him anything?
It's hard to pretend you have no money when you're climbing into a limousine.
Oh, let's go to the Carlisle here, Bobby Short.
Would you like a ride home, Miss Helpmus?
No, thank you. I have a driver and a car. Actually, it's my mother's car.
Well, maybe you'd like to give me a ride home.
Well, my driver doubles as my bodyguard.
Only my thoughts will be impure. Do you like it? My place, I mean.
Actually, no. Oh, now don't look crestfallen. I've been brought up on Empire sofas in the neoclassic look as dictated by Cora Mandel.
Who's Cora Mandel?
Oh, the doyenne of decorators.
Is that what you do for a living? Decorating? Or don't you work?
I'm very involved with several charities. And 1 day a week, I work at a hospital as a nurse's aide.
Sounds strenuous. When do you find time to relax?
I'm here now, aren't I? A nightcap, that is what you offered me. It's not what I was expecting.
Are you sure?
Miss a minute.
Oh, neither do I. Thanks for meeting me, Essie. I've never been to a show like this before. I'm used to buying off the rack.
Never, not even in an emergency. It's better to stay home than to be seen in rags.
Oh, and I thought they called it the rag business.
It's how much you pay for the rags that makes a difference. And Neville is very expensive.
Isn't that little Alchemist?
Yes. She's matriarch of all us blue rooms.
Oh, I always read about her in the society columns. She has such style.
Which one do you like?
I'm not sure. I think I like this one. Yes. May I borrow your pen for a moment?
I know everyone's secrets, Ruby.
I'll bet you do.
I'll tell you some of Lil's. Her husband, Hubert, left her for a much, much younger woman. You know, age before beauty.
You're terrible.
You love her.
You look great, Ruby.
Very Lil Alchemist, don't you think?
Very, if that's what you want.
Well, it's important for me to fit in here. It's different for you, Gus. You come from money. You're used to it.
Are you kidding? Peach had all the credentials. I'm strictly middle class.
Well, I'm not even that. I grew up on a ranch in Montana. Well, not really a ranch. It was more like a shack with a few chickens. And a mother who didn't give a damn about fashion. Or me. But you seem so comfortable around those people, Gus. I'm sure in the hell not.
Well, maybe it's because I don't care what they think about me, and you do.
Well, if you don't care, then why do you bother?
It's a distraction. Keeps my mind off worse things. Now, look, Ruby. I work for a magazine that caters to those people. You know? They invite me because I write articles about them. The rich love to read about themselves. Otherwise, I wouldn't be invited.
Well, there's no harm in mingling.
Just as long as you don't join the club. Believe me, all they care about is the money you donate to their charities, not at all in who you are. I don't want you to get hurt.
Well, thanks for the warning. Artichokes. They're so ugly. Guess the only thing you can do with them is eat them.
1 year, my daughter made a Christmas wreath out of them. Didn't look bad. Then after about a week, it started to smell. But Becky was so proud of it, we kept it up until Easter.
You must miss her terribly. I'm sorry, Gus. Maybe you don't want to talk about this.
There was a time that's all I talked about. I mean, all I can do with my anger was to scream at everyone about anything. Then I stopped talking about it. I felt no one cared. As far as everyone else was concerned, justice had been done. The subject was closed.
But your anger hasn't gone away.
No, it hasn't. I don't think it ever will.
All your dates to such fancy places?
You're the first.
Haven't seen you for a while, Bernie. Looks like you've been spending your time uptown.
Mike, I'd like you to meet Justine Altimus. Justine, this is Mike O'Rourke. He owns this job.
Hello, Mike.
Glad to meet you. But tell me, what's a nice girl like you doing with a bum like this?
Obviously trying to change my image.
Well, grab any table. No reservations necessary.
Thank you. What do you think?
I like Mike, but I'll have to save my review until after we eat the food because it's not quite what I'm used to.
I bet you Clarence's is more to your taste, huh? I ate there once. Hated it.
Or is it the place or the people you disliked?
The food.
Oh. Well, that makes sense. No one goes there to eat anyway. Everyone goes there to be seen and to look at each other.
You're not like that, are you, Justine?
I'm trying hard not to be. Why else would I be with you?
I mean, you're just slumming.
Oh, I could accuse you of doing the same thing. Wanting to know how the other half lived.
No, I just want to know how the other half feels.
Justine.
I guess I picked a bad time to drop by here.
Oh, no, it's okay. Juanito just got some bad news about a friend.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So what brings you down here? You want to buy a piece of art?
Oh, no, I just wanted some advice from my big brother, that's all.
Mother would never approve.
That's true. I think I'm getting serious about someone for the first time in my life.
Congratulations. Is his name Bernard Slatkin?
I'm afraid so.
And you're worried about what she'll say?
I'm afraid so.
Don't be. We can't live our lives according to Mother's rules, or else we won't have any. And God knows life is short enough as it is.
Okay, thanks. And, tell Juanito I hope his friend is okay. Okay?
It's well meant when friends say to us, I know how you feel. But they can't really know how we feel. Only someone who has experienced the tragedy that we have experienced can know. Someone like the total stranger sitting next to you now. That person can understand our feelings of anger or rage. But feelings, no matter what they are, they're only feelings, aren't they? They're not right or wrong, and even the most negative fantasies are not wrong to feel. It would only be wrong if we translated them into action.
What about justice? My daughter is dead. But the man who murdered her is still alive. And the only punishment he received is to serve 3 years in jail. 3 years, compared to my child's entire life. Now, somehow, the rights of the victim do not equate with the rights of the criminal.
That's true, and I think that that's something we should all work very hard to change.
We have to change it. We owe it to the people we loved. This is the last business of their lives.
My son, he was beaten to death in a racial encounter. And I don't know how to reconcile my feelings towards the men who did it. Mister, what would you do if you ever saw the man who killed your child?
What I want to do is kill him. And it scares the hell out of me. But that's what I feel. I want to kill him.
You really are different from all the others.
Others?
Women I've known.
Oh, I see.
They all worked. And they worked at working.
And you don't consider what I do a career?
Sure it is, but you're not driven by it. You're just there for me, and you're there just for me, and not always thinking about the next power breakfast. I've never known anyone like you before. You know, I told my Aunt Esther and Uncle Sal about you. I said that you were almost as tall as me, and that you were refined looking.
Oh, is that all?
Oh, no. I also told them that I was going to marry you.
Without asking me first?
That's exactly what my Aunt Hester said.
Yes. The answer is yes.
It's like having sex without a condom.
Another intellectual conversation. The way you cat around, Bernie, it's that or nothing.
I don't cat around anymore. I've reformed.
Since when? 3 minutes ago?
Brenda, there's something I have to tell you. I'm engaged to be married. Her name is Justine Altimus.
You bastard, Bernie.
Hey, it hurt.
That was the point. I know you may think of me as the office convenience, but we conveniences have feelings.
You're not a convenience. You're the best damn researcher I've ever worked with. And you're a good friend.
Not quite the word I was expecting you to use. Well, you can tell Justine Altimus that I feel sorry for her. All that money and she winds up with a guy like you. I hope she doesn't mind sharing her husband with every woman over the age of consent.
I'm gonna change.
Sure you are. What makes you think that just by marrying someone you're gonna change? You'll still be the same old horny bastard you always were, Bernie.
I know you did. You sat there and you watched Hale pick out that white suit and you told Ruby Renthal to buy exactly the same one. I know you did.
I did not.
Can't lie to me, Ezzy.
I did not.
Someone's gonna tell her what to wear, for God's sakes.
Lord Biedermeier, what makes you think that the average Joe will pay good money to read a book about me? I wouldn't.
That's just silly lies. You're not the average Joe, not any longer. And please call me Lucien. You've made the American dream a reality, and the public wants to know how.
A book, huh? I'll have to think about that. I'm going to London on business. You could reach me at the Claridge's Hotel.
Simply Claridge, lads, not the Claridge's, and all the Claridge's Hotel either.
Hello, Justine. Haven't seen you for quite a while. How you been?
I've been in love, chick.
Well, that's wonderful. Excuse me.
People like us. I like that. So will we. By the way, who's your tailor? I could recommend mine if you don't have one.
There we go. Who is that horribly dressed man lunching with Lord Biedermeier?
It's Elias Renthal, the financier.
Oh, I read about him in his wife and Dolly's column, The New People. Well, I'll have whatever Justine's drinking, chick. I suppose you invited your mother to lunch to discuss Mr. Bernard Slatkin.
Who have you been talking to, Mother?
Well, Joe doesn't tell tales, but you have been keeping him and the car out frightfully late.
I'd like to show you the ring that Bernie has given me. Look.
Well, that's a garnet, for God's sake. With a lot of pokey little diamonds around it. Well, an announcer who earns as much as he's reputed to certainly can do better than that.
He's an anchorman, not an announcer. And the ring belonged to his aunt.
Yes, I'm sure it did. We'll just turn it back around so when we leave and say hello to Violet and Ezzy, they won't notice.
I found someone I love, Mother, and I'm going to marry him. I hoped that you'd be happy for me.
You know, I've always wanted you to marry Justine. I would simply prefer my son-in-law to be one of us. I'm sure his family feels the same.
Bernie's parents are dead. He was raised by his aunt and uncle.
How unfortunate for everyone. Well, since that piece of jewelry appears to mean what I think it does, we should discuss plans for the wedding.
Well, Bernie and I want to invite family and a few friends. We'd like to keep the occasion intimate and small.
Your ring is small enough. You are my only daughter, Justine, and I insist on giving you a proper wedding. I mean, I want to do this for you. Now, please, don't be difficult.
If you won't be when Daddy gives me away.
I haven't cared about anything your father has done in the last 10 years. Now, when am I going to meet your Mr. Slatkin?
As soon as you say, Mother.
Cocktails and hors d'oeuvres, with the entire family, of course. Although I don't know how my dear brother is going to react to this news.
Well, he'll just have to keep a stiff upper lip. Shouldn't be too difficult for Uncle Lawrence, should it?
I really liked your father and your stepmother. But you never told me why your parents got divorced.
I think you'll understand once you've met my mother. She can be dreadful. Polite and charming, but dreadful.
I know all about people like your mother. I'm in show business, remember?
So why the party, Mother? I thought you didn't approve of Bernie.
Well, I can't ignore the situation. So it's best just to put on an approving face and keep one's private thoughts to oneself. I think you'll find a tie in your old room.
I'm not staying.
What?
No, I can't stand the thought of being in the same room with Uncle Lawrence and Aunt Janet. Or my cousin and his dreary wife.
I won't hear a word against my dear brother.
Your dear brother can't stand me either. He fired me. Didn't approve of my lifestyle, wasn't that it?
You don't work at the bank anymore, and all those pressures are behind you.
I love Justine, and I would do absolutely anything for her, but I am still going, Mother.
And one of these days, you'll find the right girl and make your old mother really happy. My dear Hubie, you look tired.
Wish Justine luck for me.
Mother, this is Bernard Slatkin.
Hello, how are you?
Pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
Mr. Slatkin, may I present my brother, Lawrence Van Degen?
Mrs. Slatkin.
And his wife, Janet. Hello, how are you? And my father, Armand Van Degen. Father, this is Justine's fiancé.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Oh, and yes, our cousin, Dodo Fitzallen, my father's loyal companion.
So happy to meet you.
My nephew, young Lawrence.
Mr. Slatkin.
And his wife, Laura.
Hello.
Nice to meet you both.
Oh, Parker, tell Gertie the canapes look yummy.
Thank you, Parker.
Some smoked salmon, Mr. Slatkin.
Max, just because you're my head trader and we go back a long time doesn't mean that you can talk to me any way you want to.
And why not? I'm the guy who sold the hamburgers you used to make while you dreamed about owning your own franchise someday.
So?
I also remember when you used to think the world would be your oyster if you had $1 million. Then I remember you set 10 million as your goal, then 50, then 100.
What's your point?
The point is, you get $3 billion now. When are you gonna stop?
I can't stop, Max. It's too damn easy. You know what it's like? It's like putting a hunk of red meat in front of a lion. Besides, how else am I going to pay for that new office building?
I certainly wouldn't presume to tell you what to write, Gus. But the family would prefer that you focus the article more on Justine's background rather than on Bernie's. Jewish.
Well, Bernie's heritage doesn't seem to matter to Justine, Lil.
Well, it should matter, Gus. Marrying an outsider can do nothing but create problems for everyone. Oh, there's Ezzy and Violet. Oh, there's that cheap man one's always hearing about. What is his name?
Elias Renthal.
Well, Lawrence actually wants me to invite him and his wife to Justine's wedding. I mean, he says that's important to us. I mean, the world has gone mad.
Mr. Bailey?
Call me Gus.
I want you to meet Max Luby, an old friend and associate of mine.
How do you do? I don't believe you've met Lil Alchemist.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thanks. I know your brother. We're in a couple of business deals together.
Really?
Well, I guess we'll go sit down before they give our seats away. Well, it was nice meeting you, Will. See you, Gus.
I simply can't imagine Lawrence doing business with that man. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Hello.
Damn it, Gus, I've tried calling you all day, but you're never in. I have some information for you.
Peach, what's going on?
I had a call from Lieutenant Jackson. He wanted me to be the one to tell you. The date for Flint's parole hearing has been moved up, due to good behavior.
I see. Okay. Bye.
What exactly do you have in mind? I mean, in regards to this Mr. Flint.
I want you to keep track of him if he gets out next month. Where he lives and what he does with his time.
Is that all?
For now, yes.
So, you want this guy thrown out a window?
No, I don't want anything like that.
Well, it'd look like an accident. You wouldn't meet the person who'd do it, and he'd never know your name. Easy. Not cheap, but safe.
No, Mr. Feliciano. I have something else in mind. Hi, Peach. How you feeling?
Old, if you want to know when I hate it.
I wanted you to know I hired a detective to watch Flint. If he's released after that hearing.
He can't be let out. Dear God, has everyone forgotten what he did? I want to go to that parole hearing, Gus. I have to tell them again what he did to our beautiful daughter. I have to make them remember. I want them to remember.
They won't forget Becky, Peach. I won't let them forget.
I wish you could go to the wedding too, Juanito. Maybe if I dressed up as a loaf of white bread. No, it wouldn't work. You would forget to cut off the crust, and then Uncle Lawrence would see right through your disguise.
Your sister said she liked me.
She does, and if it were up to Justine, she would have invited you, but she's walking on eggshells as it is with this TV announcer.
Isn't that what's called marrying beneath you? You know, you two are a lot alike.
Stop that, will you please? I hate it when you're that way.
Honest?
Bitchy. You're like my mother.
That's a low blow.
How does this look?
Look up here. Lift up. Let me see. Could never tell. Hubie, give it a little more of an angle.
You do it.
Perfect. Now let's go. I've got to get back to the gallery. One of us has to work for a living.
Could they have gotten married someplace a little closer than Long Island?
Bernie told us all of Justine's people get baptized, married, and buried in this church. It's their family tradition.
I still think my nephew should be married in a synagogue.
And I say, be glad that Bernie's getting married.
Where do you suppose the girl is?
Are the brides always late?
I wasn't.
Excuse me? Mrs. Altimus, would you look this way, please? Thank you.
Come on, there she is!
Saving a place for us.
Hello, Lil.
Hubert?
Hello, Father.
Hello, Hubie.
Well, it's a lovely bouquet, Justine. No one like Lorenzo for flowers.
Do I look all right, Mother?
You look perfect. Neville at his best.
Well, I meant me.
You look beautiful, Justine.
Hubie, it's time for you to take me in.
Good luck, Justine. I really want you to be happy.
Hubie, what's that?
It's nothing. It's just an irritation from my aftershave.
Getting a lot of space in the columns lately, I see.
Oh, can you believe it? You'd think I was somebody important.
Well, you are.
I'm with the firm of Weldon and Stinchfield, Mr. Renthal.
They handle a lot of takeovers.
We do our share.
Let's talk later. I'm real interested in takeovers.
If I ever strike it rich, my wife and I would like to build a home in Fairfield, in Darien. But it's hard with kids. But we have 2 little girls.
I'm sure in time that could be arranged, Byron. For the proposal I have in mind, there would be nothing risky. All you would have to do is identify certain companies that retain Weldon and Stinchfield in an advisory capacity. You know, before takeovers and mergers happen.
This is beautiful.
Belonged to Edward VII. It's the original Falcon.
Holy smoke.
I'd be willing to pay 5% on any profit I make with your help. Paid in cash. Say on 80,000 shares of West Virginia natural gas. Be a very handsome amount.
Holy smoke.
Shall we go down and have another brandy?
Okay, Gus. I want you to be honest with me. What do you think?
Well, I seem to be at a loss for words. I don't know how I'm going to begin to describe all this in my article.
Well, do me a favor. Try to write about our apartment and not about us. Elias thinks my picture's been in the paper too much already.
It is.
Well, we got to be careful. There are a lot of crazy people out there who like to read about people like us.
Elias wants me to carry a gun.
It's for your own protection.
Look at this little pearl-handled number he gave me as a stocking present. Used to belong to Queen Marie of Romania. Oh, don't be afraid. I never keep it loaded. It's just for show, you might say.
That's not why I bought you that damn thing, Ruby.
Excuse me, Mr. Van Degen. It's on the telephone, Mr. Renthal.
All right, tell him I'll be right there. Ruby, why don't you take Gus on a tour, huh? Don't forget to show him the foomery.
You know, in California, the first thing they do after they give you a drink, they show you their closets.
Will you stay for dinner?
I can't. I'm leaving for the coast tonight. Lefty Flint, the man who murdered my daughter, his parole hearing is tomorrow afternoon.
But he's only been in prison for a year.
Yeah. And Becky would have been 24 this fall.
Is your wife going with you?
No, I talked her out of it. She's not well enough. Besides, there's no point in her going through what we went through in court all over again.
Well, there's a chance his parole will be denied, right?
Slim one. He's been a model prisoner. So as far as the judicial system is concerned, he will have paid his debt to society.
Well, this isn't justice.
No, it isn't.
Look, Gus, why don't we take the grand tour when you get back?
And miss seeing the fumery? No way.
McCumber, why are you calling me here? I told you never to do that.
I apologize, Mr. Renthal, but I'm not in my office, and this was the only number I could remember. I thought this was urgent.
All right, so where's the fire?
Omaha Fuel has hired Weldon and Stinchfield as an advisor on a proposal by Tri-World Incorporated to acquire them. I thought you'd want to know as soon as possible.
All right. But from now on, you're Mr. Brown, and don't ever call me here again.
Yes, sir, I understand. Good night.
Credit Suisse of Nassau.
Yeah, this is Mr. Nolte. Get me Mr. Gerhardt.
Yes, Mr. Nolte, this is Gerhardt.
Buy 180,000 shares of Omaha Natural Gas the instant the market opens.
Anything else?
No, that's all. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Smoke.
That's why you got me this infirmary, so I wouldn't cloud up your fancy schmancy rooms.
Don't say fancy schmancy.
Why not?
Because it's tacky. We're past that. Listen, honey, I forgot. I'll need the plane real early tomorrow. There's an auction at a California ranch, and there's a couple of Remingtons.
Couple of who?
Horse sculptors. I thought they might be nice for the country house.
Okay. Have your secretary set it up with the pilot.
Thank you, sweetheart. I love you, Elias.
And I can't believe the 15 months constitutes enough time to rehabilitate the man who murdered my daughter. I only pray you agree with me.
We will consider your remarks, Mr. Bailey. Thank you. I now call Mrs. Elias Renthal to speak. Mrs. Renthal, please.
My name is Ruby Nolte Renthal. And I've come here today to plead with you not to grant Francis Flint an early release from his prison sentence.
Wouldn't I object? This is a hearing, not a trial, Mr. Pink. Objections are not recognized. Go on, Mrs. Renthal.
I had a 2-year relationship with Francis Flint that ended before the murder of Becky Bailey. On 4 separate occasions, Mr. Flint beat me. On 2 separate occasions, I was hospitalized as a result. Once after he threw me down a stairway when I tried to escape from him. Another after he broke my nose and teeth, blackened my eyes, and fractured my jaw.
Didn't you press charges at the time?
No.
I ask why?
I was warned not to.
By whom?
That doesn't matter now. All that matters is that the jury at his trial was allowed to think that Becky Bailey's strangulation was one single isolated incident, an accident. That isn't true. Mr. Flint is a classic abuser of women. His weapon is his hands.
Sit down.
Are you finished, Mrs. Renthal?
Yes. Yes, my excuse me.
Yes, certainly. And thank you very much.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because I felt so guilty. Ever since I heard about Becky's death, I've lived every day knowing if I'd only gone to the police, if I'd only done something, Becky might still be alive.
Why say anything now?
Because of you.
Dear God.
I knew Lefty years ago. Long before he met Becky. I had just moved to Dallas. I got a job as a waitress. I played guitar at the same restaurant. I know you might find this hard to believe, but he could be very charming, very sweet. We started spending a lot of time together, and after a while, he moved in with me. It wasn't long before the beating started. Afterwards, he'd always cry, tell me how sorry he was, how he never meant to hurt me.
Well, why did you ask for help?
I was too afraid. When I did try to break it off and get away, Lefty came after me. Oh, Gus, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
I'm sorry, Ruby. Both of us. Does Elias know?
No. No, I never told him. I've been so ashamed. I felt dirty just being alive. Even now, I don't know if I can tell him, and he's the best thing that ever happened to me. Someday, maybe. Not now.
Well, I'll call in a few favors. Keep your name out of the papers. Nobody will find out about this, Ruby. I promise you.
Lunch about 1, I think. I'll leave the menu to her.
Very good, madam.
You see, there is some justice in this world.
Hi. Did I miss everything?
Well, you're too late for the Easter egg hunt.
This wouldn't have happened without you, Ruby.
You gave me the courage to do it, Gus.
You remember that other woman who was at the hearing?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I had a detective do some checking, and it seems like Lefty has found his next victim.
I was afraid of that.
Thank you. Her name is Marguerite Hanrahan. She started writing to him when he first went to prison. And guess she believed he was born again because now she's going to marry him.
Oh, after everything she heard?
Hard to believe, isn't it? Somehow I've got to convince her she's making a terrible mistake.
You have to, Gus. Somehow you have to.
For her sake, I hope I can.
Look at your anemones. So beautiful. Lorenzo's been here, I see.
Just. Mrs. Renthal's been monopolizing all of her time with that damn ball. Happy Easter, Janet. Imagine new people like that giving that kind of party and inviting all of us.
Lawrence feels we should play along.
Why, may I ask?
Because they are taking charge, darling. People like us in the social register are practically extinct.
Janet, my brother, your husband, is still very much in charge. The Van Degen Bank, the Van Degen Foundation, the Van Degen Building, they're all his. We'll just see who's in charge. I wouldn't dream of accepting the rental's invitation.
We should talk about that, Lil.
Who is this come to see me? Who is it? Oh, there she is.
Baby Janet loves her grandma, don't you, sweetheart?
Yes.
And then Juanito told me that it was Frank's dad.
I didn't know you two had gotten so close.
I bought a painting for Armand at Hubie and Juanito's gallery.
Nice picture, Hubie. Big colors.
Thanks, Grandfather.
Parker, you'll be sure, won't you, to tell Gertie how much we enjoyed the crab tartlets?
I absolutely agree with Father. Elias Renthal is the most fascinating man to come into the financial community in years, and necessary to it.
It's a surprise I didn't think you people liked his type. But we have been known to make exceptions when they're forced upon us.
To the newest member of our family.
Long may it rain.
Where's Juanito today?
Oh, he's with some friends.
Hubie, when are you gonna tell me?
Well, I thought that you had already guessed at your wedding.
So what's gonna happen?
What eventually happens to all of us. Justine, please don't. Please don't cry, Justine. Please don't cry, not with all this family here, please.
You're gonna tell Mother, yes?
As soon as everyone leaves today.
Do you want me to be with you?
Do you realize that even though I am your big brother, you have always tried to take care of me? I think I can do this. But thank you very much, anyway. Please don't cry.
Fun, wasn't it? Now you know what I've had to go through all these years.
You didn't pick your family.
No, but you did. Listen, it'll be different when we have children, I promise. They'll want to come home for the holidays.
Justine, you know how I feel. I don't even know if I want to have kids. All that responsibility.
You'll change your mind, I know you will. We won't let them even meet my family.
Wasn't this nice, Hubie? Dinner on trays and just the two of us by the fire.
Yes, nice.
Well, I bet you couldn't imagine your old mother could rustle up such a good meal with Gertie and Parker out for the evening.
Mother, there's something that I want to tell you.
Would you like to watch television or just talk?
Just talk.
Good. Try some of Gertie's fig mousse. I don't know how she does it. Something about egg whites.
Mother, you can see that I'm not well.
I know they have to use ripe figs and only white figs. I know that's very important.
I have AIDS, Mother.
It's just that your color's not good, Hubie. You eat like a sparrow.
I have lymphoma. And not much time.
Hubie, I thought you and I might take a little trip to, say, San Moritz out of season. It's just too beautiful for words and it's so healthy.
I might be dead by then.
Oh, Hubie! This talk is just so morbid. I don't know how you can do this to your family.
Thank you for all your support, Mother.
Paris. Paris, that's where we should go, Hubie. Wally Simpson left all her money to the Pasteur Institute, and they do marvelous things.
Don't you think that I would have already gone there to get help? It's too late. But that's not why you suggested it, is it, Mother? You just want to hide me so that your friends won't know that your son is gay and has AIDS.
Hubie, please. Neville told me all about that disease. But I never thought people like us got it. Order. Melbourne water. Israeli melons. Gertie, please forgive the ghastly mess I made. I tripped. P.S. The fig mousse was yummy.
Hi, the Chardonnay by the glasses are special today.
Hi, Marguerite. I'm Gus Bailey.
Yeah, that sounds good. What do you want? I like Chardonnay.
Talk you out of marrying Lefty Flint.
That's none of your business.
Flint is a murderer, you know that. He killed my daughter.
He was drunk when he did that. He doesn't drink anymore now. I think you better get out of here and leave me alone.
Now look, here's my telephone number. If you're ever in any sort of trouble, you call me.
I'm over here.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi. I bet that detective you hired doesn't know about this. He's from Flint. When he does get out of prison, he wants to come and see me. Our daughter's killer wants my forgiveness. If I ever see that man again, I'll kill him. With whatever strength I have left.
You're always stronger than I was, Peach.
So you left.
You asked for a divorce. I made you unhappy.
I'm not much for looking back. Don't be too hard on yourself, Gus. You're a good father. Wheel me back inside, will you? I've got to get back to bed.
If you don't mind, Peach, I'd like to look for something in the basement before I go.
What do you want to go in the basement for?
Some letters my father sent me when I was in the Army.
We packed all your things and sent them to your apartment when we broke up.
Well, they must have been left behind, wound up down there. I have a Russian-made weapon here from Korea.
It's a beauty. Is it for sale?
No, I'd like to get it into working order. Can you do that?
Sure, I'll need a deposit. Your name?
Mertens, Gene Mertens. birthday, Peach. Now, let's see. How old does this make you exactly?
Still younger than you.
Would you like me to cut the cake now, Senora?
Yes, thank you, Immaculata. And we'll have some more coffee as well. That was very sweet of you to remember, Gus. You could have just sent a card.
Well, I didn't want you to celebrate alone.
You always were too sentimental.
That is probably true. But I'm glad there are still a few occasions left to celebrate.
You make the best of everything.
Not everything. Flint's lawyer. Got him another parole hearing. Should take place within a couple of months.
And he'll get out this time, won't he?
Yes, and it'll all be over. Justice will be satisfied.
But that's not how we feel, is it, Gus?
Maybe we will, Peach. Someday.
Arriving passenger Miles Geller. Please meet your party at baggage carousel.
Is that you, Gus?
Hello, Faye.
Well, leave it to you not to make a big fuss over me.
Oh, you look great.
That's better. But I'll just bet if I hadn't spotted you, you wouldn't have gotten up to speak to me.
Oh, yes, I would have. I was waiting for the usual hubbub to die down. Headed for Europe or New York, like me?
Big Apple, honey. Going to be shooting Judas was a redhead.
Oh, that'd make a good movie.
Gus, they don't make movies of books anymore. They make mini-series. Gus?
Yeah?
I was in Italy shooting a picture during the trial, or you know I would have been there. God, Gus, you really kept it in control. I would have shot the son of a bitch.
Mr. Chuck Morales, please pick up the white courtesy telephone.
Let me see the map. Gus, you know the Elias Renthals, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I know we're talking big bucks here, but is he generous?
I don't think he'd finance a movie.
Kathy, my best friend, she's dying of the big A. Married a guy, had no idea that he was into needles. You know the story. I'm trying to raise money for the disease. In fact, big bucks. Think you could help me out?
Well, Faye, you're famous. You don't need me to meet Elias Renthal.
He didn't return my phone calls. At least not after I told his secretary what it was about. I guess he's only into the safe social advancement charities. Look, all I want is an introduction.
I'll see what I can do.
Terrific. We get to New York, I'll take you to lunch. Or we'll do lunch.
How about we both just eat lunch? For an important cause, Elias. Maybe not to some members of the social set, but for thousands of people afflicted with AIDS.
Okay, I'll send the lady a check.
Good.
Better yet, I'll invite her to the ball. I'll give it to her there. Ruby will love meeting Faye Converse.
Yeah, and you'll enjoy the good public relations.
It's for a worthy cause, right?
Right.
Ruby hates these things. Did she ever tell you how we met?
No.
It was on an airplane. Must have been the altitude that got her to marry me.
I doubt that.
She likes you, Gus.
Well, Ruby's a terrific girl. You're a lucky man.
Well, that's what people say about me. But I've had my share of trouble. So have you, I heard. I love my wife, Gus. And I won't let anybody hurt her. Ever again.
I understand.
Hello?
Hi, it's me. What are you doing?
Clipping coupons?
It's like my Aunt Hester.
So when are you coming home?
Oh, I don't think I can get out of here at least until 2 or 3.
Oh, not again, sweetheart. That's the third time this week.
It can't be helped. Don't wait up for me.
Yeah, okay. I love you.
Same here.
Feeling guilty?
Shut up.
I liked you better when you were single. At least then you didn't pretend to care about anybody but yourself.
I care about Justine.
Sure you do. That's why you're here.
And that's why I'm leaving.
It's amazing. Everyone we've invited is coming, including your mother.
Well, I knew she'd accept eventually. Mother just wouldn't be content having to hear about your ball of unwanted Clarences.
I'll let you in on a little secret. The First Lady is coming.
The First Lady? How wonderful. How on earth, Ruby?
Well, Elias has been friends with the president for years. They used to do business together when he was governor. To be perfectly honest, I'm happier about you and Bernie being there. I'm going to need the moral support.
Well, I just hope Bernie doesn't have to work late again that night. He's been doing a lot of that these days.
Oh, so is Elias. But he says somebody has to earn the rent.
Oh, I suppose. It's just... Well, I just can't help feeling that Bernie's keeping something from me, that there's some deep, dark secret he's afraid to tell me. I just thought when you married someone, there wouldn't be a need for secrets between the two of you. No matter what you'd done, it wouldn't make any difference to the person who loved you. I just wish Bernie loved me enough to trust me.
Well, he does love you. That's what's important. Right?
What's behind you?
Be careful. If you break any of those, I will have you all dipped in cement. Mrs. Renthal, isn't it just fabulous what I have done? Your ball will be magnificent. Simply magical.
Yes, I know. You've done a wonderful job, Lorenza. Would you excuse me?
Sounds like World War III going on down there.
But Lorenza's winning the battle. Elias, there's something I want to tell you about.
Something you lied to me about. Like about how much this is really costing me.
I've never lied to you about anything, ever.
I know that.
Sometimes I haven't told you everything, but I've never lied to you. I just don't think there should be any secrets between us. I want to tell you about someone I used to know.
If that someone is Lefty Flint, I know all about him and it doesn't matter.
How do you know?
Well, when you took so long in deciding whether you wanted to marry me or not, I figured there must be another guy, so I checked out my competition.
You didn't have any?
Yeah, what did I know? I just couldn't understand how an incredible woman like you was still unattached and even remotely interested in a guy like me.
Oh, more than remotely. You are the kindest, most gentle and loving man I have ever known.
You mean you didn't marry me for my money?
Money? You didn't tell me you had money.
I'm afraid I can't get to your file at the moment, Gus. But I'll make the necessary adjustment in your will, eliminating the bequest to your daughter and leaving everything to your ex-wife.
Dee, who was that man?
Listen, Gus, you can come back when I've prepared it, and we'll have it witnessed.
What's going on here? Those the police?
Federal ones. And that man is one of our junior lawyers, Byron McCumber.
Oh, what's he done?
Oh, something about an account in a Swiss bank in the Bahamas. Look for a very big head to roll.
At Weldon and Stenchfield?
Oh, goodness, no, not here. Elias Renthal. Inside trading.
This is Gus Bailey. Is Mrs. Renthal there? No? When would she be back? No message. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, it's me. I know this might upset you, but is it too late to cancel Lorenthal's party?
Oh, you have to work late again tonight?
No, I just don't feel like going to a party.
Well, why don't we just go to the Renthal dinner and leave before the ball starts?
I really don't want to, Justine. I thought maybe we could go out and get something to eat, spend some time together, talking, just you and me.
I promised Ruby, but I'll call and explain. Where do you want to go, O'Rourke's?
That's too noisy.
Oh, well, how about Clarence's? I know you hate the place, but it'll be empty tonight. Everyone that goes there will be at the Renthals.
That's fine. I'll meet you in an hour.
Okay. I love you.
See you in a little while. Bye.
Everything matches. And monogram.
R is for rental, right? Wrong. R is for Rothschild. They bought it at the estate sale.
Ah, Lil. Thought you were going to turn this down.
Oh, I just came to see the furniture. Cora told me she bought certain pieces from a palace in Yugoslavia.
Oh, hello, Gus. Mrs. Optimus, I'm so happy that you came. What a disappointment that Justine had to cancel the last minute.
Cancel? Well, she had an appointment with Bobo. Well, I'm certain she had her reasons.
Do you have a minute? We have to talk.
Yes, of course. Excuse me.
Hello, Faye.
Oh, here's fake Converse. Would you excuse me? Excuse me.
Sorry I'm late. And thanks again for doing this tonight.
Oh, no thanks necessary. It's a thrill to meet you and an honor to contribute to such a worthwhile cause. Come, I'll show you to your seat. You'll be sitting next to Gus.
Oh, I love Gus. He's the reason I'm here tonight.
Well, I have missed you. What's wrong? Tell me.
I guess there's never an easy way to say this.
What, is it your work? You're being transferred to LA, aren't you?
No. I almost wish I was. That might make this easier. I want a divorce.
Why?
Because you expect me to be a faithful husband, and I'm not. I never will be.
Is there another woman?
There'll always be another woman. And that's the problem. It's the way I've always been.
Was it me? Have I done something wrong?
No. You haven't done anything wrong except maybe marry me. I'm sorry if I hurt you. I never meant to do that.
And I never thought you would.
Are you sure you're up to making dinner?
I have to do things.
You know, I've always hated these chairs.
Well, then you can sell them after I'm gone. Drive Mother insane. Would you like a drink?
So I'd like some wine.
Wow. I can do it. I have to do things.
I know. But let me. You see to the food, I'll be bartender.
Juanito? I think you better get me to the hospital.
Should I call your mother or Justine?
No, they're both at the Renthal ball. You wouldn't be able to reach either of them.
He needs them anyway. I'll take care of you, just like always. Just like always. I'll take care of you.
I'm so sorry, darling.
Oh, don't give it another thought. No. It only gives me an excuse to change into another one of your marvelous creations. Excuse me.
Splendid woman. The Duchess couldn't have handled that better.
Gus, who the hell are these people?
Well, seated next to you is Lord Biedermeier, the publisher.
Lucian, darling, how are you?
Hey.
I didn't see you. Probably thinks I'm blind drunk.
And to his left is Mrs. Lawrence Van Degen. To her left is the Earl of Castoria.
Oh, my God, he looks like my third husband. After the wake.
And need I say any more about this great star's career and the 40 pictures that she's made?
60, darling, not 40.
Well, whatever. Anyway, Faye, here's the check towards the cure for the pestilence that is dwindling the ranks of the artistic community.
Thank you. Oh, my God. $2 million. Oh, we're right. Thank you. Friends, we are an army fighting an enemy that has no allies. However, every army must enlist support, financial and otherwise. The Renthals' generosity will aid in the struggle in which we must all bear arms. Therefore, I shall dedicate the rest of my life to this cause, and I shall forever be indebted to this charitable gentleman, this extraordinary humanitarian. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Elias Renthal.
I can walk in. Let me walk in.
Don't worry, Hubie. I'm with you. Everything's gonna be fine.
There can't be a tulip left in all of Holland.
These new people spend more on flowers than we used to inherit in my day. The only one in return is to be accepted by us.
That'll never happen.
Oh, it will. Times change.
Why don't we repair upstairs for a cigar? There's an elevator we could use.
It'll never happen.
Look around, it has happened.
I'd like nothing better than to publish a biography of the Van Degen family.
Damn good cigar.
After all, Ormond, your roots in this city and this nation cannot be matched by any other family.
Good cigar.
You're looking particularly well these days.
Nothing like a good cigar.
Father was governor, your uncle ambassador to France. I think it's time for an important work. Yes, yes, indeed.
Ruby, I have to talk to you.
Yes, I know, but can it wait, Gus? I've got to go change for the First Lady.
Oh, she was coming?
Yes, any minute. We'll talk later, I promise.
I'll pick up the rest of my stuff later in the week. I'll call first. I'm sorry, Dusty.
Stop saying you're sorry. Stop saying you're sorry.
I still want you.
Well, Lil, how about a dance?
How kind, Mr. Renthal.
I must have a word with you, Elias.
Not until I've convinced Lil to drop the formalities.
Bye, Dusty.
Goodbye.
Elias, this is so gay.
I don't think that's quite the right word anymore.
No, it's a marvelous word, and I simply refuse to give it up. My friends all know that I lead it in the old-fashioned way.
He's dead.
Oh, this is going to ruin Ruby's party.
Oh, he certainly may put a damper on it.
Did you tell anyone?
No.
All right. How about we don't say a word till after the First Lady leaves, then we call an ambulance, get him back down on the freight elevator. Hey, he was an old man. It's not like it's a big tragedy.
All right.
Imagine the First Lady at the RomComs. So lovely.
Just wait, there's more to come.
I'll let you in on a little secret. I told Ruby to allow 45 minutes for waltzing.
I've got an even better one. I heard that she was warned not to come here tonight. Apparently, Elias is under investigation by the SEC for insider trading.
Nonsense.
Exactly what I said. Even I wouldn't print that rumor.
For father. He came up here over an hour ago. Now, what's in that room?
Edward VII's pool table. It's off limits. Elias doesn't want the old felt stain.
It's locked, but maybe he's in there. Old felt wouldn't mean a thing to him.
Look through the keyhole, Dodo.
Oh, yes, he's asleep. Right on the pool table. It's too sweet.
Oh, I'd better get back downstairs. Janet will be wondering where I am.
What about father?
Let him sleep.
Well, Dodo, push the door. Or get one of the servants to open it. Maybe there's something wrong.
The lights! Turn off the lights! Turn off the lights!
Let me out of here.
I was talking about the chandeliers, damn it. Turn the lights back.
Can't find the switch. How could you have let this happen? Look, you're the one that wanted all this.
Turn the lights now!
Don't worry, Faye. I'll get you out of here.
Thank God.
Father's dead. Upstairs on the pool table.
The elevators aren't working.
Oh, more of these rentals.
I've only met them once before.
Well, he's going to be arrested for inside trading. Just read my column tomorrow.
Are those sirens out here?
Is it a fire? Fire.
Fire. Fire.
Break the glass! Oh my God, we're trapped!
But my clothes, Elias, my trunks. I could never get ready to leave for Europe in 3 hours.
So have your mates pack them and ship them to you. Europe is nothing but a big store anyway.
Is something bad gonna happen, Elias?
What would you ask that for?
Don't play games with me. You told me we were a team, remember? A team means in good times and in bad times. You need money?
No.
I mean, I have all that jewelry. We could sell it. And there's the money you signed over to me. You could have it back. It's yours.
I'm all right in the money department, but thank you, Ruby. I'll never forget that you offered.
You're in some kind of trouble, aren't you?
Maybe.
What did you do?
What people have done before me and people will do after I'm gone.
Elias, tell me what's going on.
Mr. Augustus Bailey is here, ma'am.
Gus, I'm so glad you're all right.
Came to see if you were.
Oh, yeah, I'm terrific. The ball was a disaster. Some of my guests are in the hospital, dead butterflies everywhere, and Elias is in some kind of trouble.
I wanted to tell you about Elias last night.
What?
Have you ever heard of someone named Byron McCumber?
Why?
Well, he was arrested for leaking inside information. It's in all the morning papers. Elias was mentioned. Not accused, but the implication is unmistakable.
Well, that's illegal.
Could be pretty bad.
I just wish he'd been honest with me. There weren't supposed to be any more secrets between us. We're leaving for Europe today. Look, Gus, if you need me, if anything comes up about Lefty, you just call Max Luby. He'll know how to reach us.
I don't want you to worry, especially about Lefty. You just take care of yourself.
You're a good friend, Gus. The only one I have. I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too.
This is Mr. Renthal put me through. Larry, I just wanted you to know that I'm leaving the country for a while. And in case you're sweating, I never squeal on a friend.
That's very gentlemanly of you, Elias.
Well, that's what people like us are. Gents, right?
Mrs. Renthal, would you care for something to drink? Coffee? Tea?
Oh, no. I've had enough bad coffee and weak tea at 30,000 feet to last me a lifetime. Thanks anyway.
Well, there's no answer at the loft or the gallery, and the machine's not on.
You look terrible. Do you know that? Simply terrible.
Ah, I must be such a disappointment to you, Mother. How embarrassing to have a daughter who's so emotionally unstable.
Justine, you don't have to over-dramatize the situation.
Bernie's left me and it hurts. Weren't you hurt when Father left you, or wasn't that proper behavior?
Of course it hurt. But in our family, personal misfortunes are not fodder for public consumption. I dealt with it silently, and I kept my dignity.
How are you going to keep your precious dignity when Hubie dies? Your son's personal misfortune is AIDS, not a wounded ego.
He does not have that disease, Justine. And I don't want you saying that to anyone. It's just not true. Now you go and you pull yourself together and you meet me at Campbell's to go over some arrangements for your grandfather. Whatever we do, it should be extremely private.
What else?
Yes, Jane.
A Mr. Juanito Perez is on the phone.
Who?
Hubie's lover, Mother.
You know how I loathe that kind of talk, Justine. You answer it.
Hello, Juanito. It's Justine. What is it?
It was good of you, Gus, to come by and take me out for a breath of air.
It's nothing, Lil.
Well, the doctor prescribed something for my nerves, but I honestly don't know what's to become of me. Father dying, and now Hubie's ill. Cancer. I don't know how I can live without my son, Gus. I mean, no one knows really what we had. I adored him. I absolutely adored him. But then no one knows more about that kind of thing than you do.
Give Hubie my best. Tell him I'll come see him tomorrow.
Well, at least your grandfather died with a smile on his face.
He always said that a good cigar was better than sex.
He was feeble-minded, wasn't he?
Juanito, before my mother arrived...
Don't ask me to leave.
No, never. But would you take out your earring?
But you gave it to me.
I know, but the diamond is from my mother's engagement ring. She gave it to me when she thought I was going to marry Violet Bastido.
Well, she'd never recognize it now. But if it makes you happy.
Juanito, this is my mother. Mother, this is Juanito Perez.
Hello, how are you?
Mrs. Altimus.
My word. The World Trade Center just out the window. Prettier angle from here than from Uncle Lawrence's boat.
Yes, much.
By the way, we're going to scatter your grandfather's ashes from his boat on the north side. He had his happiest days there as a child.
How is Dodo taking it?
She's coping. We're all coping.
I'm gonna split. I'll come back later. Goodbye, Mrs. Altimus.
I brought you some magazines. And I thought you'd like that new book on the princesses of Monaco.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to let you sleep now.
Maybe you ought to call Gus. Ask him to do another article about us. Talk about our charity work. Now might be a good time.
Don't think Gus is the kind of guy who will do a puff piece on us this moment in time.
Well, why not? You're friends, aren't you? I called Max this morning. I told him to sell the plane. No sense in holding on to anything that they can seize. Rent is my new policy, whether it's sails, soars, or screws.
How do I fit into that new policy? Am I rented?
I meant the plane. I meant this boat. I didn't mean you.
Well, I guess it's better to rent something than to steal it.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, you're the brains around here. Why don't you figure it out? Don't. I promised myself if a man ever laid a hand on me again, ever, I'd kill him. For your information, Gus explained things to me. Something you never bothered to do.
Explain what?
About how you were paying off Byron McCumber.
He doesn't know about that. Nobody knows about that.
I spoke to Gus yesterday. He told me McCumber was just the well-known tip of the well-known iceberg. Elias, the SEC has enough information to press charges.
I'm gonna need you to help me, Ruby. We're a team, remember?
What do you want me to do, Elias?
Swear to my lies, if it comes to that.
No. No, Elias, not that.
No. Mother sends her love. She'd come by, but she just can't cope after her last visit.
It doesn't matter.
Of course it matters, Hubie.
Justine? About my inheritance, you don't need the money. And certainly Mother doesn't. So I'm leaving it all to Juanito.
You can't, Hubie.
I never thought I would hear you say that, Justine.
Leave him 500,000, even $1 million, but not the whole thing, Hubie. Uncle Lawrence will just take it to court and call it undue influence by Juanito. He'll use everything he can to discredit him.
I love Juanito. And that's what I'm going to do. Besides, I hired my own attorney, one of our kind. It won't be so easy for Uncle Lawrence to win this one.
But all of your money, Hubie, you could leave some to medical research.
I know, but there's just something inside of me that wants to get even with Uncle Lawrence. All my life, he made me feel like I was worthless. Juanito never made me feel that way. So what's with your TV announcer, as Mother insists upon calling him?
Yeah, well, he's up to some tropical isle, wherever it is you go to get a quickie divorce these days.
Are you taking it okay?
Well, I loved him, and someday I hope I can forget him. Yeah, won't be easy. I'm pregnant.
Does Bernie know?
No, and Mother doesn't either.
Are you going to have the baby?
Oh, yes. And I'm gonna be a wonderful mother. And you know what I'm gonna name the baby if it's a boy? Hubert Altimus Slatkin.
It has a certain insouciant charm.
I love being your sister, Hubie. And I'm so proud of you.
Think they could afford some heat in this church?
Yes, Mother.
The lilacs are lovely.
Yes, Mother, thank you.
Padre, el Hijo, the Espíritu Santo. Amen.
What is that man doing here? Who asked him?
You don't have to be invited to a funeral, Mother. The church is a public place. He's as much right to be here as we have.
Juanito.
That's the lover.
Did you notice the whole family ignored him?
Well, everyone knows he died from.
Even though the obit in the Times said cancer.
I do not want that man at my house afterward. Thank God we'll never have to hear from him again.
Well, that's what you think, Mother. Hubie left everything to Juanito.
What?
Will you please rise? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in the green.
Oh, there's Gus. Make sure you ask him to come by, Justine.
Yes, Mother.
But no one else. I repeat, no one.
Juanito. I know how hard this must be for you. It is for me, too. We both lost someone we love.
Thank you for saying that, Justine.
How could you even speak to that man?
He was my brother's friend and heir.
Oh, it's ridiculous. My dear son would never have done anything like that. And it's not only the money, but those Charles X chairs are from the Altemus side of the family, via Aunt Minnie Willoughby. Well, Uncle Lawrence will just contest the will, that's all.
It's what Hubie wanted, Mother. Can't you at least respect his last wishes?
And have that man think he is one of us? Never.
Well, Hubie was one of us.
Yes, he was.
Want to go back to New York, Elias? I can't stand hiding like this any longer. I want to go back and face the music, noisy as it may be.
You know what that means? Not only did I go to jail, but I'd have to give back everything I made and more. Where does that leave you?
I've been poor most of my life, Elias. I can take care of myself.
I wanted to take care of you, Ruby.
Gus, don't you have a limo or a private station wagon?
I don't even have a bicycle, Bernie. Sorry to hear about you and Justine.
I'm sorry, too. I'll miss Justine, but she deserved better.
Are you going away?
Oh, no. Justine's put the apartment up for sale, and she wanted me to get the rest of my junk out. Network sent a car for me. Hop in. I'll give you a ride home.
Thanks. According to Dodo, Lil wanted to sue Juanito. Lawrence thought it would be bad publicity for the family, so Lil dropped it.
Well, the Van Degens are a tough act.
They're all tough, those people.
Tell me about it. Ormond Van Degen dies, and they stash his body so as to not spoil the First Lady's entrance.
Yeah, well, there's a strong indifference to death everywhere, Bernie.
I know, Gus. It's about time for Lefty Flint to be getting out of jail, isn't it?
So I heard.
How are you going to handle that?
I'm going to kill him. But first, I'm going to call out his name. Because I want him looking at me. Know who it was.
You're not really gonna kill him, Gus, are you?
Of course I am.
I must tell you, Gus, I've heard that you've started declining invitations to Maisie's and Violet's. You don't return calls. You don't write thank you notes. I say this as a friend, Gus. No one will invite you anymore.
I don't care.
You don't care?
I've seen enough.
Well, is it because of what's happened to your friends, the Rentals? I know you were especially fond of, what's her name, Ruby?
No, it's not that, Lou.
They never would have fit in, you know, Gus. Money cannot equate with breeding.
Well, that may be my problem, Lou. I've never cared enough about either.
You must come to the country. Come to Violet's with me this weekend.
I'm sorry, I can't. I'm busy.
Poor Lil. She's had so much tragedy in her life. Make the most wonderful book.
I suppose Gus will write it someday, carefully changing all of our names to protect the guilty. How disappointing.
This was Hubie's jacket.
I always liked it. It's smart.
Why are you here, Mrs. Altimus?
You really shouldn't smoke. It's bad for you.
What do you want?
I'll pay you whatever you ask for these.
They're not for sale, they're my possessions.
Yeah, it's really quite charming here. But it's so cold. What do you think you're doing? Those are priceless chairs. Stop that. God's sake. What? Stop. Stop, Donna, stop that. You just stop that. They're priceless. Stop that.
Now I can tell you, had you bothered to speak civilly to me, or offered me a seat at Hubie's funeral, or invited me back to your home afterwards, or if your lawyers hadn't returned my letters unopened in which I offered to return the family heirlooms I inherited, I would have given you those chairs. But now, there's no way.
Whatever did my son see in you?
Love. Mrs. Altimus. Please leave. Now.
Senora, it's getting cold. I brought you this. Oh, Candelaria, thank you. That's so sweet of you. Sit here. Oh, no, gracias, senora, no. There's a woman over there. She sleeps here every night. I see her from my bedroom window. Later, when it gets dark, I want you to give her this.
Oh, no. That's too much, senora.
No, it's not. Imagine what she must think every night looking up at where we live.
Hello.
Justine. Oh, Justine, it is so good to see you again.
You too. Well, do you mind if I join you?
I'd love it. I just had an urge to sit here and look up at my own house. Too big, I've decided. I'm so sorry to hear about your brother.
Well, thank you for the lovely flowers. That was very thoughtful.
Oh, see how flowers never seem enough. How is your mother handling it?
Well, she'll recover. She always does. It just takes some of us a little longer, that's all.
Well, at least you have Bernie to help you through it.
Well, Ruby, he finally told me his deep, dark secret. He wanted a divorce.
Oh, Justine.
But one wonderful thing did happen while we were together. I'm gonna have a child.
Oh, how wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh, I've always wanted children. A whole house full.
Oh, me too. But I think one's just fine for now. Ruby, I want you to know how much I admire you. No matter how hard Mother and the rest of the old guard tried to keep you out, you always fought back. You never let them win. All my life, I wanted to stand up to them and make them accept me for who I was. But I just never found the courage.
You're wrong about me, Justine. Oh, I wanted them to like me, but for who I'd become, not for who I really was. That's over. Now I can go back to being myself, whether they like it or not.
Oh, you make it sound so easy.
No. It isn't easy at all.
I guess I better be going. It was really very good to see you again, Ruby.
Oh, good luck, Justine. With everything. You stay in touch.
You too.
How very sweet, Gus.
They're from my terrace.
I'll go put them in water. Can I get you something to drink? Iced tea?
No, thanks. I can't stay long. I just came by to wish you luck when Elias' trial starts. If you need anything, I'll be in the courtroom every day.
You're a good friend, Gus.
So are you.
Anything new with Lefty or his girlfriend?
No, nothing new. Still behind bars. Take care.
I realize I've committed a very serious crime.
Don't say too much.
I can only hope that by accepting responsibility for what I've done, I can ease the anguish that I've caused my friends, my colleagues, and most of all, my wife.
How much are you worth at present, Mr. Renthal?
Any comment from Mrs. Renthal?
It's impossible for any observer not to notice the courage of Mrs. Renthal. She is a model of rectitude at her husband's side every time he's appeared in court. Silent, supportive, her eyes hidden behind dark glasses. Betraying little emotion but admirable strength, Ruby Renthal must be anxiously awaiting the court's ruling as the case against her husband, Elias Renthal, draws to its final conclusion. That wraps up this evening's edition of Focus. I'm Bernard Slatkin. Good night.
Come in.
I just wanted to say goodnight and thanks. Whatever happens tomorrow happens.
Why don't you stay in here tonight?
Really?
Really?
Right in front of
Step back, please. Excuse me.
Your crime, Mr. Renthal, is too serious to forgive and forget. It would be a terrible precedent for this court to allow you to go unpunished. Breaking the law is breaking the law. I have taken into consideration the work you have done with the homeless for the last few months. Nevertheless, I feel it is my duty to sentence you to 5 years in Allenwood Prison.
I'm not going to keep the apartment, Elias.
Why don't you move back out to Rhinelander for a while?
Well, I was thinking of moving out to the country house.
Well, you miss your friend stuck way out there.
Gus is the only friend I have. I will miss him. Maybe he'll come out for a weekend now and then.
Maybe you'll come and see me for a weekend now and then.
You know I will.
Right now. There you go.
I'm not going to get out.
No, of course not. I can't find the words to tell you how sorry I am that I put you through all of this.
I know you are.
And you know that I love you, don't you?
I know that too. Elias, you've been great to me. I will never forget that.
Hi, Justine.
Hi, Billy. Would anyone like me to write them a letter or call someone?
Justine? Justine? Don't you recognize me? Do I look that bad?
Oh, Juanito, I didn't know.
How you doing, Justine?
Well, I'm counting the days till my baby arrives, and I'm inviting you to the christening right now.
You know those Charles X chairs your mother wanted back? Well, I left them out on the sidewalk, one at a time, for people who take junk to furnish their places. 11 poor people have some priceless chairs if they only knew of it.
Well, Hubie would like that.
Justine, about the money you left me.
Juanito, I don't care about that. That was Hubie's money, and he wanted you to have it.
I had Hubie's lawyer come down to the loft before I got so sick. Hubie's money's going to a hospice. Someplace for people who have nobody to take care of them.
Juanito.
Your brother was the only one who ever loved me in my whole life.
Don't you have any family that you want me to get in touch with?
There's only my aunt, but she doesn't want to hear from me.
I'm so sorry, Juanito.
I'm afraid to die, Justine. Hubie wasn't.
That's because he had you. And now you have me.
I want you to have this. Your father gave it to your mother. And Hubie gave it to me.
want you to give it to your child so he can give it to someone who he loves.
Thank you for loving my brother, Juanito.
I can't bear that he's out. I can't bear that he should be happy.
Sometimes I wonder why they never searched us when we entered that courtroom. Would have been so easy.
What would have been so easy?
How?
I'm going to call Detective Jackson. Ever since that letter, I know that bastard's coming here. I want a guard put on this house.
I don't want you to worry, Peach. He'll never come here. I'm going to take care of everything.
The geraniums are dying. You can hardly kill a geranium. Not enough tender, loving care, I suppose. Not enough TLC.
So long.
You sound like you're going on a trip.
No.
Gus, are you all right?
Goodbye, Peach. Gus Bailey.
Just go away, Mr. Bailey.
Not until I see Lefty.
I should have listened to you, Mr. Bailey. You were just trying to help me. I didn't want to hear.
Oh, my God. I've got to get you to an emergency room.
I'll be okay. He used me, you know, just to have a place to crash for a while when he got out of prison. I guess I got off easy.
Where is he?
He left about half an hour ago.
You don't know where he went?
Oh. Wherever Ruby Brenthal is, I guess. Ever since she testified against him, she's all he ever talks about.
I've got to use your phone.
Sure.
Hello?
Hello, Candelaria. This is Gus Bailey.
Oh, Mrs. Renthal is not at home. She went to the city, and I don't think she'll be back tonight.
Is she at the Rhinelander?
I don't know, Mr. Bailey.
Well, if you talk to her, Tell her Mr. Flint has left town and may be coming to see her. Tell her to be careful. Very careful.
Yes, sir. I'll tell her. Goodbye.
The fabulous paintings the Renthals collected in record time are now being disposed of in even less time inside the prestigious Charles & Charles auction house. And the vast Renthal apartment has been bought by an anonymous speculator who plans to divide it into 3 smaller dwellings.
Nice to see you again, Mrs. Renthal.
It's nice to see you again, too, Mike. I have a favor to ask of you. Think maybe I could take one last look at our old apartment? I know it's late. It's probably not allowed, but do you think? Maybe?
Well, I'm not supposed to, but sure, why not? The electricity's still on, and you can take a good long look around the place, though you may not recognize it much anymore.
Thank you, Mike.
Now, come with me. I'll have to let you in upstairs.
Here, let me give you a hand with that. Looks like you could use a hand.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you again, young man.
Okay, I'd be happy to carry him to the elevator for you if you want.
Oh, no, there's no need.
Whatever you say.
Oh, well, if you wouldn't mind, just to the elevator.
Sure.
Thank you. Mike?
Imagine having your own ballroom. You did good, Ruby. For a stewardess.
Lefty. What do you want?
Your forgiveness, of course. I forgave you for testifying at my parole hearing, and now it's your turn to forgive. I want to hear you say it, Ruby. And if you don't, I'll make you scream it.
I laughed at my husband when he gave me this. He said to me over and over again, there are crazy people in the world who are out to get people like us. He's a smart man, my husband.
Not so smart he didn't wind up in jail just like me.
There's one big difference. He can pay back the money. You can never give back the life you took. Don't you come another step near me, you son of a bitch.
Hold it, Lefty. You can't imagine how long I've waited for this.
I paid my debt, Bailey.
You haven't begun to pay. An eye for an eye. Isn't that what the Bible says?
It also preaches forgiveness.
I never got to that part.
Killing me will not bring Becky back.
I never thought it would. Killing you would never bring her back. Dear Peach, it's rather ironic I should be sent to Vacaville Prison, where Lefty Flint, I'm pleased to say, is remembered without affection. For the first time in years, I feel calm. Lefty's no longer in my thoughts. All those nights in New York, when I was talking about one thing and thinking another. How strange life is. The way I planned it, I'd probably be here 20 years for murdering Lefty Flint. Instead, I'm here for wanting to kill him. Intent to kill, they call it. But you know something, Peach? At the very end, when he came at me, even then, I knew I couldn't kill him. Life never is the way you imagine it to be. The good and the bad. You know what I think? I think it's possible to be happy again. Even here. With love, Gus.
I told you, you don't need to keep coming back here, Ruby.
You're always telling me that, and I come anyway. Do you need anything?
No. This place isn't the Rhinelander, but I'm okay. Now, how about you? I told Max to look out for you. If you need anything at all.
Fine, Elias. I told you I can take care of myself.
You always could, Ruby. Well, I gotta go back inside. I love you, Ruby.
I love you too.
How's he doing?
Well, he seems fine.
Elias wants you to be happy, Ruby. It's all he's ever wanted.
I know, Max. I want that for him too. I just don't need the same things Elias needs to be happy anymore. But I won't get a divorce. Not until he's released. He's been too good to me. I owe him at least that.
I understand.
Paris is over, my dear. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars for one room at the Ritz, and not even a suite. And those ghastly common women with those horrid clipped little dogs having lunch at the Raleigh Plaza. And Arabs everywhere. And the clothes are a disaster. Skirts up to here. It's just ridiculous.
Well, I have some news for you, Mother.
Getting married again? If you want to make your mother really happy, that's what she wants to hear.
No, I'm not. I've been asked to be the executive head of the Hubert Altimus Jr. Hospice.
Well, I believe that money should have been given anonymously, without anyone's name being exploited. Is that your news?
Yes, it is.
Well, how long will this Florence Nightingale performance of yours go on?
As long as I'm needed.
Well, what about your baby? Your child?
My child has a name, Mother. He's 6 months old, and you've never called him anything but your child, never Hubie.
That's not a very attractive tone of voice, Justine. Parker, I think we'll just have coffee in the living room and tell Gertie the eggplant souffle was yummy.
Mother, I just wish you would try to understand. All my life, I've been identified as Lawrence Van Degen's niece or Mrs. Van Degen Altimus's daughter. Oh, or even worse, the Van Degen heiress, as Dolly always refers to me in her column.
And now you're just Justine Slatkin.
Yes, Mother, yes. Without even that terrible word socialite in front of it.
Well, why can't they call it the Juanita, whatever his name was, hospice?
Goodbye, Mother.
You're not staying for coffee?
No, I'm not staying for coffee. I'm going home to my son, to Hubie.
You love me, don't you? Oh, you love me. You love me.
Come on in, it's open.
Why didn't you tell me you were out? I had to read about your release in Dolly DeLongpre's column. Thanks a lot.
Good to see you again, Ruby.
Same here. What's all this?
I'm selling the apartment and moving on.
Where are you going?
Oh, I don't know. A block or two away. Maybe out of New York. I haven't decided. Why don't you and I talk outside him? I can't tell you how good it feels to be alive and free. I was lucky to get out in 9 months. Good behavior. How's Elias doing?
As well as can be expected. Why didn't you answer any of my letters?
Well, you had enough on your mind. Didn't want you to worry about me.
You saved my life, Gus.
Yeah, my own too, I guess.
That's what Becky would have wanted.
I know. I'm glad it's over.
So am I. Have you seen or heard from any of the old crowd?
Hardly. What about you?
Oh, heavens, no.
I tell you what. Why don't we go over to Clarence's and see what happens?
But I thought Elias was barred from trading for life.
That's not to say he can't get somebody else to trade for him. Max Luby, for instance, with Elias calling the shots.
I understand.
But let's talk about you. I hear you've been keeping diaries. You know, the public loves to read about people like you.
Ever since the dreadful stock market crash, no one is buying art. Which, of course, my dears, everyone knows is the most sensible investment.
I heard Lawrence Van Degen knew the stock market was going to crash because Elias Renthal called him from prison and told him to get out of the market a week ago.
Oh, she called me.
Oh, my dears, you will not believe who just walked into this restaurant.
Ooh, I love all this drama. So much better than television.
So tell me, Gus, did you make any new friends in jail? Elias has.
No friends, but I wrote a book.
Oh, as he always said you would.
Ah, Maisie.
Gus, Bailey.
You know Ruby?
Hello, how are you?
How are you? Oh, it's been ages.
9 months, 2 days, 14 hours, and 10 seconds. Prison life teaches you to keep track of time.
Must. Oh, look, Gus, I'm having a small dinner party on Thursday. I'd love you to come.
I can't on Thursday.
Well, then come to the country for the weekend.
I can't this weekend.
I suppose it must be difficult to meld back into society after being away. See you.
You did that well.
I thought a lot about these people. And I realized all the money in the world can't protect anyone from tragedy and heartbreak. And yet you look at them, you think they didn't have a care. They cover their feelings so well. But I can't hide in their world anymore. I have to start living my life again.
Me too.
Welcome back, Gus.
Hello, Chick.
It's wonderful to see you, Ruby.
Thanks, Chick. Listen, Chick, we're not staying.
That's just what I was going to say. Can I drop you somewhere? So long, Ruby.
Goodbye, Gus.
You gonna be okay?
Sure. And you?
Sure.
You know what they say about people like us?
What?
That we're survivors.